How to stop being insecure around women. Is that something you want? Then pay close attention because I'm about to show you the way. I'm Isabella Grace, a specialist in relationships and attraction, and I help men become more confident, secure, and capable of attracting high-value women. So, do you freeze up when you're in front of a woman you find interesting? Does insecurity take over, leaving you stuck, embarrassed, and sometimes unsure of what to do? I completely understand because I used to be extremely shy myself. There was a time when I was so timid that I couldn't even bring myself to say hello to people. Even responding with a simple good morning to the doorman felt nerve-wracking. Now, you might think, well, it's easier for women because they don't have to approach men. And yes, in that regard, you're absolutely right. Women don't typically have the social expectation to make the first move. But here's what you need to understand. The foundation for overcoming any kind of shyness is the same. Shyness is just another word for insecurity, and let me open your mind a bit. Shyness is not a personality trait, as many people believe. It's something you developed over time, but you weren't born shy. Let me prove it to you. When you were a baby, as you started growing up, you were completely spontaneous. You laughed, shouted, talked to whoever you wanted, stared at people in the elevator, made random comments, whatever came to mind. That was the real you, totally confident and free to do as you pleased. But then life happened. You had experiences, first in childhood, then in adolescence, and later in early adulthood. And these experiences changed you. They reshaped the way you saw yourself. As a result, your self-image became distorted, and that natural confidence and spontaneity you once had, it got weaker, like a muscle that hasn't been used for a long time. But here's the good news. Just like a muscle, confidence can be trained and strengthened again. Now, before I dive into that, because what I'm about to share is like a real mentorship, a practical step-by-step guide to fixing this once and for all, I need you to be fully aware of one key thing. Shyness isn't something that's permanently part of you. You are not shy, you're just experiencing shyness right now. Shyness is insecurity. So, just as you are not shy, you are also not insecure. You are just feeling insecure at the moment. And that can change. So, how do you develop confidence, especially when it comes to dating and relationships? The secret lies in something called gradual exposure. Here's the deal. If talking to women makes you nervous, if you freeze up or feel overwhelmed, you can't just throw yourself into extreme situations right away. A big challenge is anything you personally perceive as too much. For some, that might mean approaching a woman at a bar, flirting with her, or asking for her number. For others, even just speaking up in a group of friends and engaging with a specific woman they find attractive might feel like a huge step. You get to define what a big challenge is for you. What feels overwhelming? What seems really tough? And that's where we start. So, what do you need to do next? Take a step back and start gradual exposure. Basically, you need to get used to interacting with women. For example, let's say that right now, talking to any woman feels like a huge challenge for you. In that case, your gradual exposure will involve simply talking to all kinds of women. But if your struggle is specifically with certain types of women, those you find very attractive or particularly interesting, then your gradual exposure will focus on those women. You might be thinking, wait, I don't get it. What exactly do you mean? Let me make it crystal clear. Here's what you're going to do. For 14 days, you're going to talk to 2 different women every single day. And what do I say, Isabella? Basic, casual conversation. Elevator small talk. Nothing deep, nothing flirty. And most importantly, zero pressure. You're not talking to these women to get their number, to flirt, or to try and impress them. None of that. Remove that pressure from your mind completely. Your only goal is to talk, to practice your social skills and get comfortable conversing with strangers. Now, if even talking to a woman feels terrifying, take a step further back. Start by talking to both men and women, any kind of person, 2 strangers a day. But if you're already okay with talking to women in general and only feel nervous around a certain type of woman, the ones you find intimidating, then that's where you need to focus your practice. It's all about gradual exposure. Commit to it. 2 women a day. Every day. No excuses. And how do you start the conversation? Simple. Comment on something around you. Ask for information. Make an observation about the environment. For example, "Wow, it's freezing today, huh?" She replies, "Yeah, it got super cold." You say, "I think it's gonna rain this weekend." Boom. That's it. Just like an elevator conversation. Or let's say you're at the gym. "Hey, did you see they changed the TVs? This new one is way better. Do you know if this place is open on Sundays? What time is that meeting they mentioned supposed to start?" See? It's just about finding pretext to start a conversation. And I promise you, after 14 days of talking to 28 different women, you'll feel completely different. More confident, more relaxed, less anxious. You'll realize that talking to women is not a big deal, that they're just regular people, that they respond in normal ways, that nothing crazy happens. So face your fear, but in a controlled, gradual way, without expectations, without pressure. Once you start feeling comfortable, then you move on to step 2, approaching with the intention of getting a contact. But that's a topic for another time. So, that's it for today. If you found this video valuable, hit that like button, and I'll see you in the next one.